times now.
Yep, now we're seeing a lot of teams come down the 1-2 line. It'll be the left of Cap 2 here. A lot of the teams also, the way the matches are ending up, it tends to be always team fights. There's not a lot of cap tactics going on. Do you think we're going to continue to see 1-2 line pushes being the kind of the frequent meta here?
All the cap tactics so far failed. There is simply not good enough angles to do it. Every time you have to literally risk entire tier 10 to sacrifice entire tier 10 as a block vehicle. So far they try to do it with mouse tanks. Honestly, if they want to do that, they should use Type 5. It has a bigger silhouette, but what do I know? I'm just commenting, right?
Yeah, true. Big shout out to our game observers and our director. Now, the lineups that you saw there, not quite correct actually. We do have different lineups. So, Savage Squad don't have the WZ that you saw in the starting lineup here. And already, Savage Squads are taking command of the hill here. Danny and Freedom getting up in that area. Papa Pavin looks like he has made a climb, but he's only got partially halfway there. Mojo is spotted. He just manages to get himself safe and no more.
Oh, but Freedom! He picked up
there.
A huge 800 shell there. That's not good start. Bihu really punished him for picking there and trying to shoot on Papa Pavian. But never mind. Papa is safe in that corner and he is going to be a bit of a problem for them. But overall, let's compare like what the guys have. Utopia running with a super heavy lineup again. Not much rotation potential there. Shuku taken as a butt shot. He actually crossed without any connection. Latencer saw him and he missed. That's not a good start for Savage Squad, that's for sure.
Trading out a couple of shots already. So Freedom's the only person taking damage here. Savage Squad, they are blue side, so they're on the attack. They have this yellow and black camouflage. Utopia are on the blue side, sorry, red side, and they have the blue camo. That's nice and not very confusing. Right, now, looking here from Shoki's point of view, now over to Steroids. He's in the middle of the map, facing off here against Raven. IS3 is going to be able to take a good couple of shots there. Bit of a pain in the butt to try and shoot at that sloping downhill.
Interesting choice of taking IS4 there. Like, you can't say it's the best DPM tank, but he has super hard turret, that's for sure. It can angle well and bounce a lot of shells like that. And most importantly, I would say, for such a tank, he does have heat ammo. So he can brawl super heavies like Mouses or Type 5 and so on, and pen them effectively. The thing I don't like about Savage Squad at the moment is they have 3 mouse tanks. So that means they will not have a rotation potential. What they go for, that's it. If they're committing these tanks now toward the water side, that's going to be their play. There is no other way around it.
Papa trying to do the climb here. Nobody really has vision on him. If he can get up, it's going to give his team a huge amount of information on that flank and pretty much denies that flank for some kind of push. But already, if you look at the minimap, you can see that Alpha and Freedom are starting to position themselves over to that 1-2 line, but they're in Mouses, so we're not going to see any rush coming down that side of the map. But Freedom's also positioned himself over there in his back chat.
It's not really about denying the flank, like he will just give info, and also that Rhyme Mental, tier 10 light, is really good sniper. He has gun depression, so he can annoy the enemies in the back, in flanks and so on, much better than, let's say, Russian light. Russian light is maybe faster and has better silhouette, so he can't get shot that easily, but penetration and DPM on that is just ridiculously bad at the moment.
Shoku takes a hit there from Latenza, peeking just a little bit too much. Steroids and Raven continue to try and trade here, try and get a shot into each other, but it looks like it's not happening for them. Now, the rest of the tanks of Savage Squad are gathering up here on the 1-2 line, so it looks like we're going to see something there. They've got the Mouse, they have Freedom over there in his bat chat. You also have Luti Pavlo there in his 113. So do you think, Mojo, they're going to get the Mouse push in close down the water and then send other tanks over?
Well, you don't have a reason to have so many mouse tanks unless they attract the fire before anyone else moves. That's a definite fact. So it does look like they just recycle one of the old tactics where you push a mouse over the island side and everyone starts shooting him, and then you try to sneak your mediums past, take care of Shuku, and then try to deal with everyone one by one. In the same time, you can press some of the heavies toward the middle and even through the water. So that can be their play. But as I said, I don't like it. It's small and it's a one way to go kind of game. Like if any of these mediums get shot, if they ignore the mouse or whatever, and they just deny them the fast tanks, then Freedom is already on less than 1k HP. Let's not forget that.
Watch the rock there, Danny.
These guys will effectively have no chance to win a game just with mouse tanks. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can do the shot discipline. Normally, they just kind of shoot at whatever comes first. There's already a speculative shot there.
Nice
one
blind shot
from Szczepanik there into Latenza. Latenza wasn't lit there, was he?
No. That was a pure blind shot latency. There is so much bad karma going on now for Savage Squad. Like, all of their faster tanks already took some damage. And this is not what they need. Like, if any damage is taken, it should be mouse tanks and not these guys.
Wow, feels bad, man, taking a blind shot like that. Now, Shoku continues to be lit, but look at this. Utopia are smelling something going on in this flank, Mojo. They haven't seen the tanks from Savage Squad for a while, so they know this is coming and they're already lined up here.
It's not really hard to smell it, considering you have a light tank on A9 and 0 line spotting the middle, and all the other areas there. Z is now lit up, so this is how it goes. These guys are just gonna... I don't have a good feeling about this game.
Z's already taking a big hit from Bihu. He's coming off reload. Bihu might connect with the second one. Huge ricochet there from Muka. Zed continues just to carry his roll on down here. There's the second one coming out. That was actually Steroids in IS4. Getting a shot into him. Zed shoots back a little bit in frustration there. He's tracked there. Nice shot by Muka, holding him up there. Steroids probably going to get another one into him, as he does. 4-4-5. Then another one coming in there from Muka. Zed, this is not how to farm me fantasy points. Luti gets tracked as soon as he starts the rush. Freedom and Latenza, that's what they're trying to focus into. Shoku's getting shots into him. Latenza taking damage here on the crossing. They get across. Latenza's pretty much on a one-shot. Freedom's on a two-shot. Luti doesn't have a lot of HP left in him as Zed goes down now, finally to Steroids. And this Savage Squad push, while it has happened, it's happened a bit too late. They've taken so much damage for it already.
It's not even about timing, it's just about effectiveness. There is nothing interesting here to see. They were just getting pummeled. Steroids in that IS4 penned through mouse like a, I don't know, like a knife through a piece of butter. Shuku took out Latencer now. We expected that he was on one shot and he should have let Luti Pavlo actually play against Shuku on a cooldown instead of trying to get a greedy shot. So a lot of mistakes, individual ones and tactical ones by Savage Squad on the start of this match. 5,000 and almost 6,000 HP advantage now.
So Savage Squad have lost Zet in their mouse, they've lost Latenza in the Batchat 25. They also have Freedom down to a one-shot in a Batchat 25. He's only got 185 health. Now Utopia, on the other hand, they've only lost Shoku in the Batchat 25. Muka is the only one that's taken any real damage and still has over 900 HP in his STRV. So at the moment, Utopia on defense sitting pretty here, and Savage Squad, well, they just really don't have the HP to trade in any of these peaks, do they, Mojo?
Yeah, honestly, the only thing I don't understand is why Papapavia is still on that hill. He should be on the way down, and he should be by far speeding toward the back of Savage Squad to snipe them. But the difference in HP and it's so massive at the moment. 12,000 compared to 4. That's like 3 times more. They can just drive in and kill them. That's about that.
Yeah, I mean, they're slowly starting to tighten the noose, Utopia, and get their shots now. Papa Pavins came off the hill. He's running down or across the top of the map to try and get shots into the back of the tanks. Never Carry still has all his HP here in the mouse for Utopia. Szczepanik still has all his HP in the PZ7. Bihu almost has all his HP. He just took a shot there in IS4. But I mean, there is a cap going on here from Savage Squad, but it's just delaying the inevitable. Really, it's GG already. Utopia going to take this first round 1-0 here, unless Savage Squad can basically pull a miracle out of thin air.
Yeah, that pick by Utopia on STRV is an interesting one, but we saw there is a problem. STRV can really have a hard time penning the mouse tanks because it doesn't use heat ammo. And but for covering the 1-2 line against the medium push, it's brilliant because of high DPM, so he can really lock them down and blind shoot endlessly there. The game is coming to its natural end, of course. It really started wrong, even from the moment when Zed started attracting attention, let's say it like that. It just, you could see it's not going well. He was really harassed by Steroids, mainly. Mainly he is the guy who penned him all the time. And that blind shot on one medium, the first shot on other medium on the start of the game, it just didn't start well. As I said, a lot of bad karma going on there for Savage Squad in the start, but they will be on the defensive side in the next game, so they will have a better chance.
Yeah, high chance of mine's always been a 1-1 map. I mean, it's one of these maps, it's kind of hard to predict sometimes because you expect a perhaps strong from showing, easy for me to say, strong showing from the defensive team, but then other times it can get broken really easily as well if they're not quite ready for what the
As I said, it's about mentality and judgment call. From the start, when I saw the lineup of Savage Squad, I didn't really like it. Having 3 slow super heavies like mouse tanks, you have to commit them. And when enemy sees them, they know your plan immediately. The moment that Zed got spotted on island, they knew there is something there. Also, let's face it, they saw there is a light tank who climbed on a mountain and still they did a super slow rotations because you can't do a fast rotation with mouse.
Yeah.
And emptied entire map on the other side. There was nothing else for Utopia to do except to rotate their tanks and just wait for them.
Yep, they had the
And then
IS
it's just a shooting round.
Yeah, they had the IS-4 in the middle, and when he's like, "Hey guys, there's only one mouse here. There's only ever been one mouse here," then everyone knows, okay, 1-2 push, get ready for it, aim the guns. It was a nice track on Lutti as well when he went down in 1-1-3, and then the Batchats had to go across behind him without him like being in front of them, so they took shots as well.
They would take shots anyways, but you can't really say, okay, I'm going to check him intentionally while he's driving full speed. It just happens or it doesn't, and that's about it.
Well, yeah, luck's on their side, so, you know, when it's your turn, it's your turn. Team is going to swap defense now. Savage Squad, or to swap rounds. Savage Squad's going to be in defense, and Utopia is going to be on the attack. I think Utopia can actually take the attacking round as well, to be honest, Mojo. They just seem so together right now, is the easiest way to say it. They've changed up their team from last season. It's now an all-Polish team, and I think possibly it's, I mean, their communication now is just spot on with each other.
Okay, this is much more interesting setup here by Utopia, having 3 Batchats in it, TVP, 2 VZs, only 1 mouse, so not super heavy. 2 Type 5s on Savage Squad side. So here it's going to be interesting to see will Zet and Dani actually connect on some of these Batchats, because that can turn the game over. But in any kind of rotation, Utopia has an upper hand here. If they don't take any super needless damage in the start of the game, they might out-rotate Savage Squad. But check out the difference in starting HP. It's almost 3,000 from the start. Actually, more than.
Look at the way Savage Squad are all sitting aiming up. They're all sitting back in the base. But we're going to have a little restart on that round. We'll get right back into it as quick as possible. So initially, we can sort of see the idea that Utopia were going for. More of a mobile setup on the attack, more of a flexible setup, more of a faster setup that they've got taken there. Yeah,
it's an interesting one that can be used in multiple ways. They can actually allow themselves, because of this, to do multiple rotations on mines to show the enemy maybe, we're going to do this, and we're going to actually rotate twice more if needed, left and right, because they do have the mobility and the time. There is some Gandhi pressure in those visits, huge alpha, and good DPM by them. So if something happens, they can just decide where to go. Like we've seen last time when Kazna played the match on mines in attack, there was a slight mistake by one E4, but it costed them almost entire HP on that guy. He lost like 1900 HP in the start of the game from 2 Batchats clipping him from distance.
Yeah.
And it made them weak, and they just crashed. The entire super heavy lineup crashed like domino effect, and they just died. But of course, it is like a two-way reaction. Like we've seen, when you take too much damage in start for nothing on medium tanks, then you lose the game, because if this kind of fragile and fast setup by Utopia, if some of the Type 4s connects, as I said before time, it's potential of 1400 damage on a medium tank. This is not something that anyone enjoys, and that can go bad in many ways then. That's something that Savage Squad will hope for, and Utopia will try to play against it.
Yep, and it's interesting thing to, I mean, people are probably going to wonder about it. And with the restart, teams can't change their vehicles. The vehicles are locked in. No vehicle substitutes are allowed. I mean, they can discuss tactics now. They have a bit more time to talk about what they saw on the enemy team.
They can replace the player if he dropped.
If a player has dropped out, which is potentially the issue, then they can replace that player, but he still has to come in and play the same tank that was already picked. You can't
it must be the
come in and play a different tank. With restarts, as far as I understand as well, if there's been any damage done or any vehicles spotted...
If you spot anyone or anyone is damaged, there is no possible restart. It doesn't matter anymore.
So even if you've got a guy disconnected, well, tough. The battle will carry on with you being 1 man down.
No. As soon as anyone gets spotted on a map, it's done deal. As soon as anyone takes any damage, it's done deal. And we do not count in any damage team collision, which we saw in this case when one Batchat took 9 HP. That's not counted.
This was very close though, because they already had Hill in the Batchat. So if the Batchats had gone a little bit
forward... If
they
actually moved forward and spotted anything, that's why they actually put the brakes on, because they saw disconnect. They were like, stop!
Yeah. So we're looking to get things back up and running as quick as possible. Now, yeah, like we're saying, mines, it's... I mean, do you think, with that climb, do you think it should not be there? Do you think it still causes a bit too much power for the defensive team compared to the attacking team?
Too much. I never had anything against those climbs, for one.
Okay.
Like, I like diversity. I didn't like all the climbs in the game. And I think mines one can be interrupted, as we've seen many times. When we were doing video about the climbs, I actually had hard time to find proper scenes.
Oh, Daki's just going with Savage Squad every time now.
I had a tough time to find proper scenes. I've seen so many guys fall from climbs, even from the best things, like Positive falling 3 times in a row, going somewhere, breakneck, and so on and so on. Then guys climbing
failed,
up and getting blown up one shot and so. So for every remedy like that, for every problem like that, there is a cure. There is a way against it. So it's only about the skill of the teams.
And they showed perfectly example in the NA stream why you don't try and do the climb on the attacking side. As a man was deleted there within 2 seconds. I believe it was actually Mr. Man got himself erased in the blink of an eye. Got shot, I think, by an IS-4 and then removed by a Type 5 Heavy.
I guess that was a very skillful decision by his team to send him there.
Yes. Now, here we go, starting the match once again. It is round 2 here. Utopia already leading Savage Squad 1-0. Utopia now on the attack, Savage Squad now in the defense. Utopia sending 3 tanks into the middle, 2 bat chats and Steroids in the TVP. Any connections coming out? Latenza might get a shot on Steroids. Steroids has been bold there, but nope, they continue moving up.
It's more like vice versa. Will Steroids get shots on him because of better gun?
Oh, Alpha's already taken 500 there.
That's a good shot. Who actually shot on him? I couldn't see.
Where did that come from?
Papa Pavian.
Papa Pavian,
maybe?
Papa
Pavian. Yeah, it was Papa Pavian. It was a nice shot.
Peeking up over the hill?
Yeah, he was on that D4 position, so he had an angle from there. I'm really surprised that actually Alpha was in such bad spot that he can pick up that. So, if anyone is wondering,
some shots as well
VZ has 490 average Alpha, and it has heat ammo, so it's really good tank to deal with against the mouse tank. Especially if you have like rations and everything, you can lower your reload down to 886. So combined with gun accuracy it has and that kind of strong alpha, it's really good tank to use.
So Danny and Alpha over in this area, as if they're going to send a bat chat up there. That would be the death of a bat chat.
It's not necessarily for that. If they get spotted, they can even blind shoot that position. So, as example, Never Carry can want to play cooldown against them. Oh. But you can, oh, nice connection by Raven on Szczepanek here. But you cannot play cooldown against the Type 5 because Type 5, if he connects, he's gonna do a couple of 100 damage anyway, no matter where he hits you.
And Danny shot and missed. He's going to come off reload and fire one again in just a couple of seconds. Danny actually taking one, so Never Carrying Danny exchanging shots there. Papa Pavin playing a dangerous game, trying to shoot at the E4 in the background. Zet takes another little chip of damage there, and this could potentially go against him here because the chipping damage from the 5A in this situation, I mean, he's got a lot of HP to go through for that Type 5 Heavy though. It's
not that big deal until he falls below 1500, which is like 50% of his HP. The key thing the Savage Squad just wants now is to lock them down. So they're doing that well. Zet is spotted and he took some damage already, so pretty much Utopia already has an idea exactly where are the tanks, where are both Type 5s, where is most of the mouse tanks and so on. And they have fast enough lineup, they can choose. They can make their choice. What will they do? So far, the lineups like these we've seen in attack that Utopia has would usually push Szczepanek exactly where he was, on the middle, to attract some attention. That's why Savage Squad actually has that E4 Raven, so he can counter that and he can shoot the island. And then you have Barchats and VZs, and you can just choose what to do with them. You can push 1-2, or you can push the Willy side.
Now, Never Carry facing off here against the Type 5 and the Mouse. If you look at the little info panel below the tank's name, it shows you how much damage he's done, it shows you how much damage he's blocked, and it shows you how much assist damage he's got. So Never Carry has already blocked a potential 980 damage, probably taking that one in the turret facing off against those 2 tanks. Now, Latenza here setting off against Debichu. That's going to be a draw for the ages as Steroid now drops off where we saw Danny drop off earlier on from the same area. Now Raven has got a broken turret, but well, it doesn't really affect E4 that much, and now plays as an E3 pretty much. He will
repair it anyway when he feels like it. It was Papa Pavian who did it. We were wondering how will Papa Pavian deal with tier 10 tanks because he mainly played lights and artillery, but I can tell you so far from what I've seen, he's a really talented guy. Yeah. And he's doing better than most of the people that actually play tier 10s all the time. So good work by him.
Definite star player of the lineup. Now, Utopia gathering up here for a potential push down the 8-9 line. If these Type 5s can connect with someone, that can ruin someone's day here, Mojo, for whatever they plan to do here.
Well, they need to connect mainly on backshots. But to come back on those boosts, we were talking about the only thing I dislike at the moment about boosts on mines is that the dominant boost that can be used is the one in defense. And for one in attack, you actually have to work hard to make it happen. You have to push away entire defending team before you could even think about it. So that's the only thing I don't like. If you can't do it from one side, then you should not be able to do it from other side at all also. It should be easier to stop or just blocked off completely everywhere.
Now, Luti is advancing up on his mine. Looks like Savage squads are kind of expecting some kind of push here. Shupanik's leading across in the mouse. He's going to go first and the rest of the tanks potentially follow. But Shupanik taking a lot of damage for this. Down to 20 HP. He goes down as Danny finishes him off the Type 5 Heavy. And that is all the focus on that side of the flank. And if Utopia are going to push down that flank, they're going to run into more of that pain. And it would not be a good idea.
I cannot really say I understand what was the idea behind this move here. I mean,
love the way you just slowly shook your head there, Mojo.
I mean, Szczepanek pushing down the lane, okay, fine. Attracting attention, okay. And where are the rest of the bodies?
It looks like they're going to try and rush everyone here, and they're going to get absolutely pummeled by the Type 5 here.
You mean everyone except Szczepanek, who is already dead by far?
Are they going to try a boost?
That will work well against Type 5 waiting. That will work. That will probably win them the game in an instant, right?
The way Miku was setting up. Oh, nice shot there from Luti into the back deck there of Papa Pavin. Now he gets a shot into Danny. Danny's taking a bit more damage here, almost at half health like you're saying now, Mojo, and Papa Pavin's going to get a second one out here as well. It doesn't penetrate with that one though, and they've got Shoku coming up behind him. Now look at this, Never Carry Steroids and Muka now moving down that flank, Mojo. Can they focus the firing? It looks like Danny's going to be the one they're trying to focus into. Danny's trying to run here, he's down on 34 HP. Shoku finally gets a kill on him now. These 4 tanks are coming around here. They're going to try and focus into Alpha as well. He's going to try and angle like a boss to survive this. Biku has a full clip waiting to go once they can start getting his health down.
I don't understand really why was Danny running away. His only job is to aim that Type 5 Heavy toward one of the mediums in attack and click once. And then he can die. Like, then he can die. Still, we have situation 5-5. Savage squad much more HP because of the quality of the tanks, like Mouse and so on and so on. But Utopia does have decent positions. Savage squad also have one weakness, you can saw it, like their 5th tank is Freedom. Freedom actually has to attack people from the back to be useful. So that makes Papa Pavian his prime target, and he's doing it as we speak.
Utopia got a bit more map positioning there, but he took a lot of damage in trade for doing it. Now Never Carry's having to push up into Zet. Freedom's going to come round behind Papa Pow and start chipping at his damage while Latenza holds his focus at the front. Never Carry takes a big shot in the front. Biku's just coming off reload. Now he can come in, but he takes a shot. Mucka takes a shot as he pushes in. Every time they're pushing in, they're taking too much damage for this. Savage Squad just have so much HP to trade, and Utopia are not penning these shots. I can guarantee you before Alpha went down, he took an absolute truck ton of deflected shots there when he had 4 tanks shooting him before they finally killed him. Biku is about to drop here. He's on 62 HP. Papa Pavin and Steroids are both on a one-shot. Well, Papa Pavin's dead already. Steroids is the only tank left. And yes, Utopia did do a push, but man, it was just... the shots just weren't penetrating for them.
It's not even about that, it's just like the composition of Savage Squad defense is such that it's really hard to break. As I said, Danny should not have panicked and tried... what was evasive maneuvers with Type 5 Heavy? Like, what the hell, man?
You're not going to run away, yeah.
Why? It's like driving a Bismarck and trying to dodge Corvettes or something. Like, just doesn't work, man. Aim, click, angle, hope for the best. That's it. That's the only job in your life you have in that tank. And then you rely on everyone else to do the damage while you're dying. That's about that. No really big, huge science behind it. But never mind. Still, it was a rather easy win for Savage Squad, especially after deleting that mouse for free. It was really big miscommunication for Utopia, guys.
Yeah.
If you already sent a guy down, you should have everyone ready. So Papa Pavian ready to push on the other side, maybe Bihu to push from the other side, completely alone on light tank. That would also work, because if everyone is busy shooting elsewhere, he can delete him one-on-one and then come from the back. So that kind of plan, I can say I would like approve, seal it and whatever, and it would have some chance. But this just send one guy down the lane and then, oh, they killed him.
You go first. You go first. We'll support you. Don't worry. We can move faster. And he's like, oh. No, you go next now. No, I'm not going to go. You go first. No. We just saw it happen to the mouse. I want nothing to do with it.
So not really great display there in attack. 1-1 as we thought on mines. Nothing big there. Moving on to Sand River. Also map, we've seen some steady plays by Utopia, but also some good readouts by Savage Squad, as example, when they kept, if you remember that one, like that was one of the fastest games we had so far in the tournament.
Yeah, that was when Diplomat missed 2 shots in a row, I believe. He was the only person capable of doing reset. Sand River, a lot of the tactics now revolve around Cap 2. We've seen something play across Cap 1 that was Gohar doing something that was quite sneaky, and they did actually force out the win, but I mean, they took a lot of damage in doing so. Utopia are going to be the ones standing out on attack, and it's going to be Savage Squad starting on defense. Now, pattern being used on both sides is double pattern being actually used here from Utopia, so it is a map we start to see this vehicle being used quite often now.
Yeah, here, of course, because there is a lot of sand dunes, you can use the cooldown on with that buffed turret. It's really good for. Also on Murovanka as a replacement for Kranwagen. Interesting is that we have both Patton and STRV in defense of Savage Squad. So usually when you have an STRV, you do boost it here up on a hill as they are doing it now. And Patton will probably use as an anchor on sand dunes below. So that is something that we've seen by multiple teams actually done now. Alpha playing Patton, he's playing it actually really conservative because plenty of the guys actually managed to annihilate people who are offensively defending those dunes.
Nice little boost there to get Raven up into that position. I was going to say, when Utopia are the ones that are playing defense, they normally make these climbs spot on every single time. So good to see that Savage Squad is showing everyone that they're capable of doing it as well. Good bit of teamwork. Now, Never Carrying Steroids are going to push up here onto the dune and see what information they can get. But look at this, Savage Squad taking a bit of a different defensive angle here, Mojo.
Yeah, we've seen this before because, as I said, like if you center your defense on the dune, you're in a problem from getting overmatched. Like enemy collects the tanks right below the dune, we've seen how Oops did it, and just pushing over, giving you more damage because they have more guns at one place, while you have still people left and right that can actually not connect. So that's normal thing now. That's something how you more defend the Sand River. There is rotation coming in from Utopia. A couple of Batchats are going from the lower side. They do know that these tanks are positioned mainly in the top side of the map, so I believe they will try to pressure Z on the lower side and Freedom, and to get them in some kind of crossfire between the tanks on the dunes, Steroids, Shepanek and Never Carry, and those Batchats. If they manage to do that and do some damage, then they can do another rotation wherever they want, because this setup by Savage Squad is not that super heavy and trenched up like we've seen in yesterday's match. Yesterday's match was really hardcore on Sand River, I would say.
So Maka, Bihu and Shoku, the little medium wolf pack on patrol here, running down at the bottom of the map. At some point they will run into Freedom. Papa Pavin actually also moving through the dry riverbed as well.
Yeah, everyone has to go parallel, like you are a unit and you need to move and get all the crossfire angles you can. Because if someone starts running, there is really no point in just letting me do so. Also, you must make sure you are not trapped and that you have enough forces to deal with any kind of threat. They can risk leaving those visits on the dunes up alone, because this kind of setup by Savage Squad is a bit passive. Nice connections from the back here.
Nice shot from Shoku into Danny. Danny did get tracked by repairs. A second connection coming in here from Biku and Shoku getting a fire into him. He's tried again and repaired it straight away. So, I mean, I would like perhaps his crew taking out, repairing the first one quickly. Shepanek is taking one in return, but that's nice kind of, I'd say, you know, what would be the word I'm looking for here? I was going to say keep away fire, but that makes no sense. I mean, they're just kind of keeping Danny away from that area, but it does also give Savage Squad a bit more information as to where the Batchats are and what they're doing.
What they're doing is mainly just chipping the damage wherever they can, and they're doing the pressure all over the map. Now these Batchats will actually collide with Z and Freedom, as we said on the start. Raven took a huge shot from one of the VZs. These VZs are monsters.
Oh,
Flying
Shoku! Double shot when he goes through the air there. As Freedom and Z are able to focus into him. He gets one shot back in return, but Shoku's now down a one shot. 303 health. He is between, well, death right now, because any minute now someone from Savage Squad's probably going to draw a line onto the back of his tank. Zet and Freedom with all the HP, 3 shots into each of them, and well, that's a horrible place right now for Shoku to be.
It was a really bad call for him to do it like that. Also, it was not really best call for his Batchats to already be so low on a map without them checking that corner. There we go, Shuku is dead. If he had 2 Batchats behind him, they could have just counterattacked Zed immediately and Freedom and just won the game in that instant. Like this, they're actually in a problem because they're on a lower ground. They have wizards, and we will have to see some kind of push coming in from Utopia now. They will have to choose a place on the map and just push.
Yep, Utopia had the overmatch of tanks there, and they just kind of left Shoku to go off and do his own thing now. There's a counter push coming in here from Savage Squad. Danny, Alpha, and it looks like Luti are going to push around, perhaps try and get angles into the WZs here, because they know that there's nobody along the AB line or C line to kind of give any covering fire now. Luti's going to peek a little bit here. Shapanik comes round back and sees that Latenza's now coming up to get shots on his side because all these tanks are around on his side. So they're in a crossfire here. Utopia is a really horrible place for tanks to be. If they go one side, they have Batchat shooting them. They go the other side, they're going to have the WZ shooting at them.
Szczepanek there was quite open, and now they're trying to do some kind of a paint train from Utopia's side, but I don't think it can work because they do not have the numbers. 3 VZs are just not enough to just delete Luti, Pavlo, Alpha, and Dani in their tanks. Also, they're already chipped themselves, and they have to deal with STRV, who is behind also. So that leaves Utopia in a rather bad predicament. They have 2 single-shooter mediums, Papa Pavi and Muka, and only Bihu as a clipper alive with Dead Amorek and on 1 shot.
On the other side of the map, Zet took 2 shots there. He's on a reload. He's down to 668 health. And look at this. Never carry Shapanik and Sturoy's trying to push into the tanks here of Savage Squad. But Savage Squad have about 5 guns facing them. Danny's going to try and get around the back. He wants to get into Shapanik. Sturoy's trying to save him. Never carry tries to save him, but Never carries down to 1 shot as well. We're going to lose Shapanik in just a second as Never carry gets a kill. Or sorry, Luti gets a kill. Never carry. BQ takes out Raven up on that hill, but Sturoids is about to go down now as well. That's Utopia losing 3 tanks. Only have 3 tanks alive. Savage Squad with 6 guns still in the game. This one is going to be going to Savage Squad. And well, Utopia need to think that one through again about how they did all that.
I would say none of the teams actually played it to their best in this match. I've seen a lot of gaps and openings in both of the plays. But the upper hand is Savage Squad's. Utopia made 1 crucial mistake with Shuku down, not supporting him and having him only checking the corner alone. I don't know why they did that, because they could have guessed there are some people there. It was a good decision call by Savage Squad, a risky one, but it paid out in this case. Now we have Papa Pavi and Muka, as I said, in those single shooter patterns alive, and Bihu on 1 shot in his Batchat on the other side of the map. I believe Freedom is well aware of that. That's why he's keeping his shot to make sure he takes him out. And there we go. Now he's in reload. He can even die. It doesn't really matter. Papa Pavian and Muka simply cannot take out the rest of the guys unless they make some super crucial mistakes. Latencer alone has 1300 HP. That means minimum of 3 high alpha shots, really high alpha shots by both buttons to take him out. In reality 4. It's just not going to happen.
Nope, not at all. And this is a very different start from what we'd kind of expect from Utopia, from the way they've been playing. They're just really not seem to have much of a plan B here. A bit uncoordinated with that push and throwing away Shoku at the start for nothing, and then not capitalising back on it. They would have known that after taking out Shoku, the Batchats were on a reload, but other 2 tanks just kind of held at H7 and didn't really do anything. They were like, oh well, we've lost a teammate. On the other side, they tried to go for an overmatch, but they didn't have the overmatch because you had Raven up on the hill as well, and you still had 5 tanks up there. So, 4 tanks up there on top.
There was really
Raven.
nothing wrong with their plan A, as I said already, but that bad judgment call to put the Batchats down close to the cap 1, so they would have maybe better shots in the backs of these heavies of Savage Squad, was premature decision, and it costed them the game. So they will rewatch this, and then they can think about it a bit. Also, having 2 patterns, I don't think that's a strong point of this map, because they are really slower.
Papa Pavin's taking damage here as they're closing out final stages of the battle. 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Muka is just hanging over on the F1, F2 area. It's time for Utopia just to kind of talk this one through, talk about what went wrong, talk about what they could have done better, and just really kind of better plan out their defense for the next round as well. As Latenza picks up a triple kill, picking up Papa Pau in there. Now Muka, can he get any killing shots before he goes? He knows where plenty of tanks are now, because you can see everyone's going to have a shot at Alpha here. Doesn't connect. Alpha doesn't connect with them. He's going to have another one, perhaps. No. Behind a rock now. So, Muka. Well, a minute left to go, mate. Are you going to just drive out because we know it's over? Or are you just going to like try and farm a bit of fantasy point damage?
I guess he's gonna do something for his statistics, or just for a pure fighting spirit or whatever. But as we know, I mean, anyone can see the game is decided by far, and there is nothing to be done. We will see Utopia on defensive side now on Sand River. So this is a tricky point in this match now. Now Savage Squad managed to turn the match over from 1-0 to Utopia. They turned to 2-1, and they will be attacking Sand River. Sand River is definitely not a map that is bulletproof against attacks. We've seen it broken so many times, and Savage Squad does know how to play aggressive and rotate. So maybe they actually have a chance here for a good lead. Maybe Daki's prediction will be right.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, they could take the lead 3-2. 3-1, sorry. Now, I mean, not really anyone stepping ahead of everyone else there on damage. Mocha, last one alive for his team, coming top damage there. But the next 4 tanks all coming from Savage Squad. Got Danny, Ravens, Latenza. Yeah, I mean, it's not a really individually high scoring round, that one. Everyone was really sharing damage amongst themselves. And only one potentially high damage there that could have been if he'd survived longer was Raven in the position where he was up above, but he got taken out just as the team fight started.
It doesn't matter. The important damage that was done by Danny in his VZ on the other VZs, and it was done by those 2 budgets from Savage Squad, and that those 3 guys combined there pretty much won them the game. STRV could always farm damage when the fight starts and whatever, so it's not that important. It was just combination of that. A lot of mistakes here by Utopia costed them the game. We'll just move on the other side.
Yep, draw a line under it and then move on. Teams are going to swap sides. We're going to see Savage Squad on the attack. We're going to see Utopia on the defense. I was saying Utopia are the ones normally making all the claims and stuff themselves. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rhein Panzer come out tier 10 light, something that they've used before here. Defending that cap 2 area can get up quite easily itself on the climbs. I can see already at least 1 WZ for Savage Squad, bat chat as well. An E50M, hello! That's a bold choice, because certain people would tell you that tank is perhaps weak. And of course, it would be the Mem Master himself playing it. Fairly standard lineup for Utopia, and yeah, the Rhein Panzer as I expected.
They do the solo climbs when they're defending usually, so that's why they pick him. It's played by Papa Pavian usually. Let's see. Oh, he's actually in budget now, and Muka is playing.
Yes, Muka that played it. He's the one that climbs up in that area.
And we have 3 visits, Never Carry, Steroids, and Szczepanek. Okay, this is like a decent aggressive setup by Utopia in defense that gives them also a lot of rotation potential. They can play super aggressive and try to take over some positions. On Savage Squad side, E50M is a really good sniping tank with a high alpha, some armor, but that turret can be penned easily with the heat, of course. Alpha and Luti Pablo are crossing from lower side to the middle. This is something that Savage Squad likes to do a lot, and Utopia is aware of it. Look at the punishment going on them.
Absolutely punished there. Luti Pavlo driving ahead of Alpha. Initially the shots were coming to Alpha. Alpha bounced 2 of them, but then more damage actually came through, and Luti as well continued to take more. So, I mean, this push from Savage Squad sniffed out straight away there by Utopia, and they were able to get focus shots into these double 5As, and that is a huge amount of damage to start with already. Alpha already sitting there with a damaged ammo rack, has not been repaired, so not a good situation for him.
This is a hold-down position we've seen used many times where Steroids is. It's really hard to dig out the tank from here, and he can do tons of damage. You literally have to collide on him from A7 position, a couple of tanks to take him out, and he's usually protected, of course, by the teammates. Latencer takes a shot. That was actually a blind shot. Rather interesting.
He's getting tapped by blind shots all match so far. It's 2 he's taken 1 in Mines and now taking 1 here in Sand River. Now, Alpha actually didn't bounce shots, he didn't connect. He's only done 136 damage, so nothing showing as blocked. That's interesting.
Theoretically, there is only 2,000 damage health advantage for Utopia here. But when you say only, and then you realize that 2 visits of Savage Squad are already below 50%, Alpha and Luti Pavlo, that's not really cool for them, because they will need them in one moment to do a high pressure on the cap or to just play some kind of cooldown. And if they get 1 shot more, they will just be really weak and low HP tanks. So a big slap in the face of Savage Squad by Utopia right in the start of the game. We just need to see, are they big enough team to kind of go away from that situation and find a solution.
Now, Bihu in his Patton has already blocked 780 damage, peeking over with his turret. He's taken a shot, but he's already blocked a decent amount already. Zet trying to look for any targets to shoot at. He's loaded with APCR at the moment, reloading in. And Savage Squad, it's going to be an interesting way how they try and work their way out of this one, Mojo.
Well, at the moment they're just trying to probe a bit and rotate the tanks, but so far what I don't like really from this match is both teams are kind of sluggish on rotations. There are no really big decisions, big movements, and let's say chop-chop reactions from neither of the teams. They're always probing, peeking, trying this, trying that, and it's kind of slow, and someone always gets punished, like hardcore, usually by defending team, like when you're attacking. So if you want to win attack, like here, you have to be fast on rotations and not careless on the start of the game, I would say.
Danny peeking off here against Szczepanik at the bottom of the map. Nobody's really getting any connections there, but there is some other shots coming over Danny's way, so has to be careful when to peek. Now Zet looks like he's going to start a cap here. Bold strategy because the teams know the angle and know where someone's going to sit. Danny actually taking one there from Szczepanik. He takes a dead gunner in the trade there. It's one of the dangers of peeking with an E50 is that the front of the turret is flat, and usually it's quite easy to chew shots through that area.
Well, we've seen tactics like this almost work, so it's not that it's not doable, and they're trying to just retrieve some of the HP lost like this, because that can be here unspotted for a long time, and they need to make Utopia move. And this is the only spot on the map where Utopia is not really heavily present. So that's the problem. But what's the other problem? Because you have those now really weakened VZs that are supposed to be anchor tanks. Utopia will master their forces in one moment, and they will push, and they should take them out. Even with taking damage, it should not really change the game. But Danny taking so much damage. Now he has a dead commander, dead gunner. Fortunately, he has a medic. But still, medic will not heal his HP, and he's down on 700.
Savage Squad bleeding HP here. They're roughly about 4,000 HP down on Utopia as Zet and Latenza back off from the cap circle there. I guess it's just waiting for timing, Mojo, like you said, for Utopia to push over into this Savage Squad WZs. Raven's moved position now. He can give himself a really good field to fight here over the ridge line for if anyone wants to peek. But Savage Squad need to think of something because they're the attacking team. If they do not do something before the map timer runs out, it's an automatic win for the defending team. And, well, Utopia are just happily to sit back and let Savage Squad come at them.
It just looks like Savage Squad gave up on this cap. That means only one thing. They can just master the forces and push the other side of the map. Or they can master the forces, fake the retreat, and just come back where they were and push. Whatever happens, they already have not one, not two crippled tanks like in a star, but 4. You can't really count Raven as a tank that will make a big difference because STRV to work, you need open enemies so you can snipe them down. So it's not a tank you're just gonna push in some position and make him shoot them. It's just not gonna work. That leaves only 2 tanks capable of any kind of significant rotation for Savage Squad. That's Freedom in Butshot and Zet in Butshot. And we already saw that Utopia is really heavily trenched in.
So Savage Squad doing a full rotation here from base 1 all the way around the top of the map into the AB line. It looks like they might try and rush to base 2 like we've seen, try and force a fight and get rid of the people at the top of the map. Then they only have to defend against the front side of the map. But doing something like this would rely on having HP to trade. Now, Freedom's full HP, Raven's full HP, Zet's full HP, but between the 3 of them, that's 2 Batchats and STRV. The STRV is not going to be in the middle of this fight. So they don't have the armor with the HP. That's the danger. Both 5As have already taken a huge amount of damage.
If they manage to surprise Turoids here and win that side of the map, there goes Zet is spotted finally. If they manage to do that, they have a theoretical chance to come back in a game. The only problem, of course, the only problem they have is those slight 4,000 HP of difference between them and Utopia, and still counting.
Nice connection there into Freedom as he moves up to back up Zet. Latenza is further back around him. Now, look at this. Steroids is going to say, well, I'm out of here. Freedom takes another shot on the way in there, gets a damaged turret rack, and now Steroids can make himself safe behind this terrain from the remaining tanks of Savage Squads. And Utopia can now position himself to deal with Zet as he peeks and gets wrecked there, down to 316 HP, and Utopia read that play like a book, and Zep was punished for it so hard.
Utopia built an iron curtain here, and Savage Squad will not manage to break it, that's for sure. The crossfires are strong, they're covering each other well, they have the HP, they have the number of the guns, they have everything they need. They can just choose what to do now. They can even push on Savage Squad and just finish the game. It's not up to them. Like, Savage Squad is checkmated. They cannot do anything to win it.
HP difference here is quite significant as Savage Squad takes another shot now. Raven and the STRV taking damage. This is really not going Savage Squad's way at all. Raven has all the HP, but he's the tank that's furthest back from the action. Anything Savage Squad want to do to try and push in here is not going to work. There's a minute 40 left on the clock. Savage Squad are just peeking but not wanting to peek. There's absolutely nothing they can do. If anything, Utopia backing off. Papa Pavin now getting a kill here. He drops the Latenza. We see Luti Pavlo's been dropped as well. This is it. Utopia pushing in to get the end here. They're going to focus into Alpha. Shoku with a full clip ready to go into the side of him. Danny's going to be the next one to fall as well. He goes down almost instantly. Freedom and Zet are now the only ones left in the back line. Raven at the side is being able to farm a little bit here, but it doesn't matter what he can do as Freedom kills Shoku before he goes down. Papa Pavin getting a double kill. BQ finally killing Freedom, and now Raven, only person left in his team with a wing and a prayer.
Well, Raven, prayers with you, but you're dead as a dodo. You're a extinct species now. And next map we will be watching after this is Ghost Town. So far, really equal match between these two. As I said on the start, I don't expect anyone to take a huge lead unless there is some big surprise by tactics. But of course, Ghost Town is a map that always gives that choice. You can always get capped, or you can just make a slight mistake in rotation and lose both games here. So always a huge gamble for both teams when they play them. But if you seek for a brawl, there is no better map.
Indeed, that always gives out fairly decent fights. Papa Pavin, I mean, I always talked about him on Thursday as well. He is by far and away, for me, stepping out to be the best player right now of Utopia. A definite person, if you didn't have him in your fantasy points this weekend, you're going to be kicking yourself because he is just a monster right now. He is playing exceptional.
Well, good plays by him, but the only important thing here is that Utopia actually made a good defense, a good judgment call. How will Savage Squad play from the start, expecting that push on the middle, making a great cover fire there, punishing them, slapping them in the face immediately, so they were stunned for the rest of the game. Pretty much, the game ended right there and then. They just didn't allow anything to happen different after.
It was a bit of a spanking, to be honest, yeah. The fact that it was so good as well is that Utopia were able to preserve their HP for so long as well. They were the ones that were in control pretty much the entire map there.
It's just one of those not even close games.
Yep. Yep. Now going into Ghost Town, teams are all level here at 2-2. Utopia are going to be the ones coming out in defense. Savage Squad going to be on the attack. It'll be interesting to see if we can perhaps get any kind of cap rush shenanigans. We've not seen that for a little while. Utopia haven't really had it happen against them. Ding, it happens to all the time. Probably going to see a lot of mouses here, aren't we? Type 57 heavies.
I really
Type
hope
57s, T57s.
I mean, if you put too many mouse tanks, you lose rotation. If you put too many 57, same. You need to have a mix of the tanks always. So I really hope not that any team will just go super heavy because it's just nonsense. You could have maybe done it before with the old mouse with 3.2k HP and a higher DPM, but now it's just liability. You can get flanked and shot off. So let's see.
Double Type 5 heavy for Utopia. Wow.
Double Type 5, double mouse, 1-1-3, 2 budgets. So 2 budgets for rotation, and stick together team is between those 2 mouses and 2 Type 5s. And 1-1-3 will be in a hold down position to cover. That means they will probably just sit more toward the open 1 cap with that lineup with heavies, while budgets will try to control the lower part of the map, and it is exactly like that. As far as Savage Squad is considered, they have 3 mouse tanks, 2 57s, a 50B, and a 1-1-3. They're not running any budget. That's very interesting. That means their backline tank should be a 50B, probably, trying to cover them from the 0 line, while 57s are on a slope. And
this is
the pressure they have is only 1-1-3. Only guy that can actually go on cap.
This is very brawl-centric from Savage Squad, isn't it?
They want to fight. This is a fight lineup. And there you go. 1-1-3 straight goes for the cap. He can't do it because he saw the lineup of Utopia breaking all these walls by himself. Okay, whatever.
Take out his own cover.
It
Papa
doesn't matter.
Palvin, Shipanic and Steroids heading down below, like they want to get in potential reset position. Papa Palvin taking a shot already, and look at a Shoku and Bihu running around the backside to come in with potential crossfire here. When this fight starts, if they can get in position quick enough, it's going to be an interesting crossfire, for sure. But Luti's just a bait. Right now, Alpha and Zet coming down into Death Alley Mojo, as you like to call it. And well, this is going to be a hell of a fight once it starts.
But they can allow themselves now to play aggressive with those mouse tanks there, and we still have Luti on the lower side of the map, capping. The only guy who can effectively do anything about it is one of these TIE 5s. If they connect turret, there you go, there's a reset. Some punishment came Papa Pavian's way, but he will feel it far less than Luti, of course, for the same amount of damage done. Alpha and Zed here are keeping the proxy on the mouse tanks, but if 57s actually push in, that's going to be a start of the brawl.
Alpha's coming around here with Zed as well. Danny's coming around, just listening to the team speak of Savage Squad. Can they win this brawl?
Don't push in, just do damage.
Try to do damage, you have an overmatch there, go. Nice. Types are going back, types are going back.
Okay, go back, start going back with the badges.
The bot, second bot.
Bot shooting the back.
Pablo, you have to pick on 113, go for him. Go for 113.
Bot is joining the mouse.
You can sit like that.
Push him, just push him, just push him.
They'll push here, they'll try to push here some.
They will push with everything. They will push with everything here.
They're trying to really push here.
And two bots just pushing me.
Just watch out, don't cross, don't cross. They're watching with types.
They're going in.
They're going in, they're going in.
We're not doing damage, man. We're not doing damage. They're bouncing a lot. Go back, Danny, go back. Just stand there fucking.
I'm reloading.
I'm reloading.
We just need to group up here. We just need to group up here and help the mouses.
Латенс, перекачивайся сюда.
Я уже еду.
Freedom, you need to flank them from behind.
Yes,
Бачу,
Fight
бачу.
one. Follow, nothing. What is our
Take
mouse
his mouse
doing?
too.
This solo guy.
I'm going back.
Mine's 3. Mine's 4.
Follow, don't get damaged.
Reload. Не сможешь hold?
Shoot 1.2.
1.2.
Just do damage as much as you can.
I'm not
You
pinning.
bounce these guys so
10
much.
seconds reload. Бачу.
Second bot.
-1.
Okay.
800 mouse, давай.
Freedom, you need to turn back and start flicking them out.
Yeah.
Freedom, hello.
Oh, 800.
Well, a close brawl there, Mojo, but Utopia coming out on top.
I wouldn't really call it close, honestly. Utopia made better choices. Savage Squad didn't pen their shells when they had the opportunity. After that, when Utopia grouped up, they really had no opportunity to fight against TIE 5 heavies. TIE 5 heavies will do damage no matter what. We've seen it. Is it 400 or 400, but they're gonna still do it, while mouse tanks have to struggle to pen each other and so on. Focus fire by Ethiopia was better, if you can even call it a focus fire. They're just shooting each other in endless salvos of what's seen, and Zed was focused in one moment. You can say it like that, but you couldn't see a single tank on either side just fall by a pure focus of fire.
When I say close, I mean the starting of it was close. It wasn't quite clear how it was going to go each way. They seem to be quite concerned with the bat chats coming in behind them. T57 at one point clipped out one of the bat chats, but I mean, Savage Squad knew what they wanted to do, knew what they had to do there, but it just didn't seem to click together for them.
Big step up for Szczepanek. They're doing 4.6k damage. In last season, he was really a secondary player for Utopia, barely even playing a match. First lineup now all the time, doing the damage in mouse. The tactic of attack from Savage Squad, I would just call it weak. That 113 pushing solo cap against 2 TIE 5 heavies, you could imagine that they will decap him easily. And then you needed a way to pressure the rest of the tanks, but they had no such means. Like, they had too much of defense there. Bachas reacted really fast. If you saw, they in one moment they just split, and one of them kept the spot on the lower part of the map, and other was immediately covering the heavies from the crossfire position. So Utopia had an answer for Savage Squad, but while Savage Squad plan was just like full of holes.
Yep, now Savage Squad are going to be on the defense and Utopia are going to be on the attack. Be interesting to see if we get two lineups again that are brawl-centric or not. Quite a heavy lineup again coming out here for Savage Squad. Utopia's one's got a bit more flexibility to it. We see an IS-7, we see a WZ in there as well. So, also a Foch B, interesting.
We've seen Foch used in attack many times so far, 3 or 4. I mean, the season not that long, so we can say many times.
I was watching APAC today, they used 2 Foch B on attack. Interesting way of doing it. It didn't work, surprisingly. Oh, Russia,
surprisingly,
maybe.
yes. So, very surprisingly. Stepanek and Shuku playing 2 mouse tanks. We have an i7, much better tank for capping than 113, I would say. And if you put in VZs next to him, that's something that you can call a capping potential. Muka will then keep a 0 line under control with his Foch, and we have Bihu who can do the rotations and counter latency in his Batchat, so he cannot threaten that. Now, what's the weakness of this setup? They do not have the clipper tanks like 50Bs or 57s, so that means that a couple of the angles will be weaker than they would usually be. You cannot really leave those mouses on a death alley that easily and think that they will survive. But the cap pressure will be much more significant. And it's very nice they have Latencer here up, but Latencer is going to hardly be able to decap any of these 3 guys. And 32 seconds and 30 and counting at this slow setup by Savage Squad, better get their wits together.
So triple cap being started here by Utopia, 20 seconds left. Savage Squad needing to push in to try and get a fight, to try and get angles here. Shots coming out already missing. We're down to 15 seconds. Let's actually go to the TeamSpeak of Utopia, because this one could be over really quickly.
Typ. Bo ja sobie tu pogram, nie?
Mausy.
Zbił.
AD, mnie też zbił.
Do
Splashem.
przodu, to typa.
Beka mnie. Beka 2.
Dobra.
Ja ładuję.
Kurwa, jak to poleciał. On nie ma działa.
Jest na low.
Padł na buście. Szczelił.
Beka 2.
Ja ładuję.
Ej, a wy ile tam macie?
Za daleko z tyłu.
Właśnie, z piu! Znowu.
Dobra, już się schowałem.
Ale
Chciałem
ty
typa
jesteś-
robić.
No ale
Ale
nie
nie
tak.
kurwa na suicide.
Oni tu zrotują po nas, czy jak?
A, o ile
No co?
ja
No z piu już jest w dupie.
trochę jest.
No.
Ja muszę przeskoczyć po nie.
Tak.
A ja wtedy...
Bat się wychyla, całkowicie się wychyla bat.
Ja
Nie ma
od
bata,
początku
jedź po 113.
KD!
Po 113 szybko.
Jadę, tylko mnie spotną kurwa ci tutaj na tej.
Jechać tutaj właśnie, po mouse nie możemy zjechać?
Możemy.
Ja się muszę schować.
To tu jest
Nie, ja nie mogę
tam
kupować.
jest beka.
Ja od tej strony jadę.
Chodź,
Ja górę
kurwa.
puszuję, ja już...
Chodź,
Jadę z tobą.
Bat minus 2.
Bat minus do mnie strzelił 2 bat.
Typ
No,
KD.
dwie.
Te 2 małpy.
Mnie Hewik robi.
Jadę do Szczepana.
Hewik minus 3.
Bichu do przodu, jakbyś pojechał tam bardziej?
Bat minus 1, minus 2.
Ja skończę.
Bat jest
Chodź,
KD.
Mam jeszcze
Tak,
jedną
Maus mnie szczelił jeszcze.
Szoku, graj już, graj na suicide. Szoku.
No dobra, tu mi
Kończę.
No to wjechałem, no bo jadę go zabić.
Nie zdąży.
Widzisz ile czołgów jest, to kurwa...
Beczka jest
Teraz
nasz czał.
Teraz cofnij,
Trzymajcie się,
szoku.
trzymajcie się. Tak,
Cofnij,
cofnij,
bo naprawdę.
trzymajcie się i grajcie pode
Musisz,
mnie.
nie? Bułka?
No, na 5 pestek. No, kurwa.
Ja jadę.
Typ
Nie
jest
mogę
nasz
nigdzie
czał.
zrobić.
Beczka ma 400 coś.
Typ tu może podjechać zaraz, nie jebnąć, wiecie.
Pilnuj sobie, on jest na pizdę.
A ich bat
No.
ile ma HP? Wiecie?
Full ma bat, czy nie?
Jedną pestkę ode mnie dostał.
Rotuj WZ z batem, graj WZ z batem, rotujcie z batem we dwóch, z muką nawet, my się
Chodź tu,
mostami...
wróć tu się, Szoku, patrz się na lewo mi, żeby nie wyjechać na lewo, ja będę prawo trzymał.
Jak, no może lika.
Jest bat.
Jedź
O,
do
bichu.
bata WZ-tą, wycofaj ten,
Dobra,
wycofaj
bichu go
Szczepan,
zrobił,
wycofaj Szczepan,
No.
wycofaj.
Wierzę.
Wieża.
On mi wieży rozpierdoli.
A nie masz naprawy?
Nie wie o tym.
Nie. Ja ładuję i uciekam.
Ej, uciekacie
Wycofuj,
stąd?
wycofuj.
Uciekacie stąd?
Tak, wycofujemy stąd. Jedź WZ
Da
do
radę?
naszego bata.
To na dwójkę próbujemy, czy co? Mamy czas, na
Szczepan,
dwójkę.
Ja-
na spodzie
Zajdzie.
jesteś jeszcze.
No.
Tak,
WZ, a
mamy
WZ
czas.
w jedynkę w kapa może
Mamy
wjechać? W
czas.
jedynkę? W jedynkę w
Ja-
kapa wjedź. WZ-tą,
Ja,
tak?
ja muszę naprawić sobie wieżę.
No dobra, mogę ja.
No jak oni są wypchani, to może. Tylko najpierw sobie sprawdź.
Na sajdzie.
Czekaj, najpierw mukę. Daj
Ja tutaj, ja
mucę
tu podjechałem.
Dobra.
właśnie.
Dobra.
Na sajdzie sprawdź, czy typ tu jest
A jak
wychylony.
na Bejta tu podjechał, nikt nie osłonił, czy coś, czy nie?
Nie jeszcze.
Nie mogę.
Jeszcze nie, jeszcze
Teraz
nie nawet.
niczym tu nie pilnujesz.
No,
No,
dół.
mogą podjechać i
No.
wykapować WZ i
No
tyle.
dobra, to ja idę.
Chyba, że tu Szczepan wiedzie, tak? Z coverem bata. Szczepan se tu by
I
podjechał.
może być, bo ja bata
Ty
porobię.
będziesz
raczej
patrzy
tego.
mi lewo, ja tam wjadę i będę
Tylnym
gadał takiego.
mogłeś
Nie,
nawet.
no.
Będzie lepiej. Ja mam sporo HP, mogę tam się utrzymać długo nawet.
Sprawdziłeś tam?
Tylko żeby tutaj mnie nie rozjebał ktoś od dupy, nie?
Nie ma tu typa.
Ja jestem na pozycji. Jest.
So this is the one way that this game has to get over with, and never carry picks up Danny. Finally, Type 5 Heavy is dangerous tank, no matter how low on HP he is. He did pick up double kill in that, but a lot of weaknesses in Savage Squad's defense. Danny was saved in one moment because honestly, Steroids pretty much suicided going to those houses. There was no need for that. They could have kept the cap pressure and just finished off Danny if he peeks to try to do that, to shoot them again, because he did reset all of them in one moment as far as I saw. Steroids...
You heard that on TeamSpeak. It was like, obviously, I mean, Savage...
They meant suicide, yeah.
Yeah,
Utopia
Utopia being
because
Polish team.
of Latencer's position on upper hill and clipping him in a flank.
Latenza climbing back up into that area, nothing really he can do. Now, for those listening in, obviously Utopia are not all Polish teams, so TeamSpeak all in Polish here, but there was that one key word of suicide in the middle of it when Steroids pushed. He wanted to get the kill on Danny, but it put him cleanly in the sights of Latenza and got himself clipped out, and then Danny peeked to finish him off quite cheekily after a Raven peeked as well. Just a little bit of kind of distracting tactics here by never carrying the cap circle, trying to force Savage Squad tanks to come out and reset. Now they know that Latenza is back up there in the back chat. They know that there was a peak there from a tank to be able to get a reset as well.
And they also know Latencer is now in reload. That means that Savage Squad won't even have the shells to respond to attack. The only guy who had HP in this game was Freedom, and he doesn't have any more. The clock is ticking, and Utopia did take entire map. As I said, Ghost Town is a map like that. You can easily take both sides. It only takes really small mistakes by a team, and you are done for. Utopia, definitely a better team for this kind of engagements, and it's going to be 4-2 for them. They will be on match point, and they will go on a cliff.
Panic now just pushing a little bit into Zet. Mucka is driving about in that Foch like he's on a mission. 5 shots waiting to go into someone's face. Zet gets a parting shot at Shoku before he backs off. Now Raven looked like he was going to give Zet additional covering fire. It's still not completely over at the moment, but it would be a hard job for Savage Squad to come back into this. As again, Mucka comes running through the back, but Latenza is going to come back into the back of Mucka here, so Mucka has to be careful.
Zet surviving by the pure force of RNG on 6 HP, not that it will help him. Let's not forget that there is still never carry capping in hold down position on the cap all the time. Someone actually has to go and deal with him in next 35 seconds. And Raven is on one shot for him, Latencer is on one shot for him. So yeah, maybe they will rest him, but if he doesn't miss a shell, there we go, Latencer, goodbye. Goodbye, Raven. And as we said, 4-2, and the next map will be Cliff.
Going into Cliff now, so Utopia taking the lead. It has been swapping over each way. Initially, Utopia started off 1-0, then it went to 1-1, then Savage Squad took the lead 2-1, then we went to 2-2, and now it's Utopia fully in control of the lead here and on match point as well, so potentially they can win it here in the first round of Cliff.
Potentially, but this is their attack on Cliff, so maybe not, we will see. I expected a bit closer match here on Ghost Town, and I expected that Savage Squad will be able to take at least one of the sides, but I was wrong. Shepanek again doing top damage, really nice play. He farmed about 10,000 points in both games so far. Bihu on Barcha doing 4.9 among all those heavies. That's a good play. He's an old dog, an old predator. He likes to hunt, and he obviously knows where to position for that kind of damage.
Yeah, great amount of damage there. There's a lot of heavy tanks on the board, so a lot of HP potential to be taken there by individual players rather than shared amongst the team. Now we're going to go to Cliff. Utopia are going to be on the defense. Savage Squad's going to be on the attack. I keep saying, I wonder if we're going to see any rush tactics. We generally don't ever see them happening. A lot of these teams are tending to play more passive now. We're not getting a lot of YOLOs. Although in saying that, we did get a YOLO last time up the 1-2 line, actually, which is quite unexpected from a team. So teams still experimenting with stuff, still bringing new stuff to the board all the time.
We'll see. Savage Squad has only one chance to stay in the game, that's to win an attack. I hope they will not do some full-time YOLO, but if they play too slow against Utopia, we've seen what happens when Utopia trenches up in this couple of the games. You're just not going to dig them out, and that's it.
Utopia been really good on defense on this map as well. They wrecked. I mean, this is where they had the tiebreaker with Oops, and Oops.
Yeah, they know to bring their shovels, and they know to dig up those trenches, definitely.
Yep.
On the other hand, Savage Squad performance today, not so great. A lot of individual mistakes, a lot of miscommunications, how to move around the map and things like that. So I really thought they will perform better. but they still have a chance. If they manage to win attack here, they actually have a chance to bring this to tiebreaker. Of course, this is also a match point for Utopia, so lost game here for Savage Squad, that's GG.
It's a very mobile lineup here from Utopia on the defense as well. No STRV, which we sometimes see, so it looks like they might perhaps be going aggressive here, Mojo. They are moving all down as a unit into defensive positions here. Nobody's really sitting back in this one.
Can't say I'm happy with that pick of the light tank that Papapavian is playing. It's not really the greatest choice. You can spot a lot with it, but still, it's just like a lower damage dealer when it comes to VZs are coming around the corner, but they cannot really press on because TVP would annihilate them. If you are wondering why they're so bravely pushing with Bachats, it's because they left that TVP behind, so he can shoot on anyone trying to shoot them behind the corner. But a lot of damage taken from the rest of the tanks of Savage Squad, but the high positions are now theirs.
Utopia getting punished going into those positions. They're never carry taking damage, Mucka taking damage, and Shoku taking damage.
Zed had to fall down now. He lost the high ground position, so that means that most of Savage Squad team is actually now down. They have only Alpha and Latencer on upper side of the map, as far as I know, and Raven in that climb.
Steroids is going to peek over a little bit forward here. He will be proxying the tanks below him. Has to get himself hidden because that immediately gets him spotted as well. Now, Utopia have started to take control of this map. However, Savage Squad, I mean, they're all grouped up down the bomb here. It's only Latenza that's completely separate from the rest of his team in Alpha. What can Latenza do to come around the other side? Bihu's now going to be able to climb up onto the lighthouse completely uncontested here. Just has to be a little bit careful when he peeks that he doesn't immediately get shot at if he's spotted. Steroids biding his time, wondering if it's time to do a reset or not do a reset. Bihu now knows that Raven was back there, is up here unspotted, and he might see Alpha or Latenza over there as well.
Well, he needs to be careful about Latencer, because if he gets pinched by Alpha and Latencer, he can actually fall, and that can be a domino effect for Utopia. So
nice angles almost there by Zet, but no.
Papapavian
drops down. Does take 2 shots actually before he drops down, so that's not really a great trade of HP from Papapavian. And whilst Utopia have the position here, they're bleeding HP unnecessarily.
The game will actually, on the contrary, be decided on the hill. What happens to those Bachats on the hill will decide the game. What happens with Latencer and Szczepanek and Bihu and between them and Alpha, if that side prevails, no counter push from the other side will win the game to the other team.
Szczepanek here is spotting Latenza. Now, can Bihu get angles on him? Because Szczepanek could be in a potentially really dangerous place right now.
This is a good position by Muka here, because when that eventual counter push comes, he will be in great position to deal damage, a lot of damage done to Latencer here, and a really good advantage for Utopia in this moment. Like, they are still 1800 HP down compared to Savage Squad, but Savage Squad does have to push into them. Never forget that fact.
Luti there driving out into front of Mucka. Mucka's been up in this position before with a TD and getting shots into him. Now Bihu and Szczepanek shot into Latenza. Alpha wants to come around and try and help his teammate, but Szczepanek is holding him off, so Bihu wants to take the trade of Latenza. He has the HP advantage. They both have 3 shots. Szczepanek kind of forced the tanks well. Now look at this, at the same time, Luti and Freedom are coming around trying to get a kill into Shoku. Never Carry was able to get shots into him as well, but Raven's able to take him out, so Shoku might fall to this. What can Mucka actually do is that Shoku gets the kill to save himself. Shoku have 2 more shots left. He can get shots into Freedom. In the meantime, Danny gets the kill onto Shoku. Freedom's going to move up into this hill unchallenged, and this is not going so great for Utopia.
I would not say this is even closely done, because when these Bachats from Savage Squad die, and they should, I don't know why Steroids actually stopped. He should have kept going, which was the call made from his team, and they would have 3-on-2 Bachats, sacrifice the other side of the battlefield, deal with these guys, and control one side of the map. Now, as it stands, that hesitation can actually cost them a game, and it can look like Savage Squad brought a right choice, a correct choice, but it's only because of hesitation in Utopia in this moment.
Freedom has been farmed a little bit here from Steroids. Steroids with only 2 more shots left to go. Needs to make sure they penetrate and actually get damage into him, as does take a bit more damage here. Steroids going to back himself off into safety. Still, the crux of this whole fight is going to be here on the hill, and the problem that Utopia has is they're a gun down. They've lost a Bachat, they've lost 2 Bachats actually, and Return Savage Squad have lost a 5A. Now, Raven going hyper-aggressive here into Steroids. He has the shots. Raven's going to get the kill here. Double kill for Raven. At the same time, the tanks push over on the hill. Szczepanek and Bihu go over into the tanks. Shapanik's going to try and force Alpha back here. Alpha's going to keep dropping off. Shapanik has one more shot. Alpha has 3. Shapanik cannot win this trade. But Alpha's now in the guns of Papa Pavin, who can start farming into him.
Alpha is stuck.
Alpha's
like he will need time to drop down, and he is now on one shot. Papa Pavin actually dropped him that low, so the Bachat can finish him. But Shapanik already put a reload, which is a massive mistake. He actually didn't. He just tracked him, but it doesn't matter.
Now, things are closer than they were before, but still Savage Squad having the advantage of the extra 2 guns.
No, this is a game for Savage Squad now. Like, Utopia had their chance and they blew it. They blew it when they actually didn't push those 2 Bachats from the other side. They kept Papavian, like he's a huge sniper on that A5 position. That's very nice. It's a good position, but he cannot really harm the heavies that much unless they open the flanks. If they actually pushed those 2 Bachats with steroids and Papavian and 2 guys from the top, delete them, maybe lose the other side on 2 Bachats, but they will still do huge damage as they did. They would control the map still. They would have 4 tanks in a game, and they would have a crossfire against those VZs, against surviving Alpha and Z on the Bachats. But
nice
like this, it's just not gonna work.
Nice pickup there from Alpha in support of Raven. Shapanik just doesn't have the HP to be able to trade. Papapowan in the T100 sitting up on the back lines, just running through the base circle right now. He's spotted at the moment. He wants to rush into Z. Z has a full clip. He can take at least 2 shots. He will take Papapowan down in 2 shots. There's one. Papapowan gets one. Z tracks him actually. Papapowan backs off. And Z is still surviving there on, what is that, 2 HP. Raven surviving on 43 HP, but still is gun in the game. We say it so many times. We will keep saying it so many times. That gun can still do damage unless it's taken out, and that is exactly what the problem that Utopia is having right now.
Yes, and Papavian is still one shot for anyone, and they can decide to cap and not meddle with him. And I would honestly just put one guy like Raven on cap anyways.
Closer than it needed to be, for sure. I mean, Savage Squad, 4 tanks there, all in a one-shot. Bit of unlucky RNG, or lucky RNG, depending how you look at it, with the tank surviving on a sliver of health. But yeah...
even that would not change this game.
Utopia, not much of an answer when they got pushed in that situation. The tanks up on the hill, it was wide open for them to be shot in the back.
I believe they just should have been more decisive in that moment, and that would break the game in their favor. That's how I see it. If you already chose to play such an aggressive lineup, use everything you have there in your advantage. Just use it. They saw 2 Bachats stuck. Use it, kill them, win the side of the map, run away with the rest. Like, they could have actually run away and sacrificed only 1 Bachat and made a crossfire elsewhere, control the map, because let's not forget, then Savage Squad will still have to pressure the caps or go on to them, and they will control entire half of the map then with the crossfire. So I didn't like that moment, and this is now 4-3 for Utopia. This still is good for me because I expect tiebreaker. And Utopia...
I can't remember if I said 5-2 or 5-3.
Yes, you said 5-2.
Oh, nuts.
And Ducky said 5-3 for Savage Squad, so that will not happen either. So we have a chance now that Utopia goes in a tiebreaker, and if Savage Squad picks up this defense, and then we will watch Mines. And then we will have to see who picks the side. That's the big problem here. The big problem is because so far the only attack was won by Savage Squad. So that means they would actually pick side, and they can actually win the match in defense if they're good enough. So a lot of possibilities, shoulda, woulda, couldas and whatever, but we will still have to see what will Utopia say in their attacking round.
Yeah, indeed. It's going to be Utopia attacking now, Savage Squad on the defense. Now... I mean, it was nicely done in the previous round. We saw Papapowan coming top damage. He is in the T100 Light. That's not saying that the T100 Light is a great tank for doing top damage. He simply was one of the last remaining tanks in his team. Perhaps he'd been in a different vehicle. The fights could have gone differently. For example, when Shokyu got pushed, the only person that was able to cover him was Muka. He was in TVP. Once he clipped out, he couldn't help his teammate, and Shokyu went down fairly quick right after that. Now, there's what I was kind of expecting. Defense, we're seeing STRV being used. It looked like double STRV there, actually, from Savage Squad. Danny in one and Raven in another, so that can be a real pain in the butt to push into here for Utopia.
Yeah, depends how do you position them. Like, I'm really interested to see if you really... they have 2 STRVs. They really like to play 2 STRVs on different maps. They can try to make some surprise, I guess.
B1, A5, perhaps. Is
no,
where I would
it makes no
expect
sense. If they do second STRV, it will be somewhere on A1 instead of TVP, I guess.
As I'm saying, B1, A1 is usually the go up. So B1, another one will be at A5.
Anyways, Utopia is well aware of that. They are already aggressively pushing because of that to cut off the positions, to start the proxy spotting and do some damage. Some early shots coming here on Never Carry. 2 shots, I would say he got away cheaply there, considering all the facts. But this is giving a lot of room for Utopia to think what to do, how to cover the map. I honestly don't like this defense of Savage Squad. I think they're just putting themselves trapped for no bloody reason whatsoever.
Now, for Utopia, we see Shoku's taking a little bit of damage in his back chat. Never Carry has taken at least 2 shots there in his 5A. Alpha sneaking around the back of one of the climbs here, trying to get up nice and slowly. Looks like he's just made it, maybe not. A little bit of wiggling, can probably get himself up there.
He doesn't want to get up there. It's going to be a world of pain. He wants to peek with top of his turret without getting shot. That's what Alpha wants to do.
Papa Powin climbing up here onto the lighthouse in his TVP. Now, Muka has been spotted out. Going around the other side. Bihu right beside him. And Raven has already pre-aimed that area in his STRV.
Yes, Muka is perma spotted. Yes, Papa Pavian been using that hill with TVP rather well. We've seen it in a couple of games. He's really great to counter the bachats in any kind of hold down because you can pump up the shells so fast.
Carry just missing a shot into him there.
Yeah, the prime reason for all of these actions now, they just want to dig out Zed. Zed is the cornerstone of defense of Savage Squad in this moment, proxying them from that middle position. If he falls, they will fall like domino effects. Like it will leave Raven on elevated position without a spotter. Danny on other side of the map. Not really huge force for counter push. It will have to be Freedom and Alpha and Latency falling, but that's easy to prevent.
Bold, peeking around here.
There's bushes there, so unless someone is really proxying, it's easy. And STRV is covering him all the time, so that's not a problem.
Zet has taken a hit here. Now, Papa Palvin and Steroids both on a reload. Savage Squad not really going to be noticing that unless somebody being shot at has been counting the shots going into them. I mean, it's fairly solid defense right now from Savage Squad. Never Carry again, peeking, taking damage for it. He is not in a good place because it's Danny that's constantly popping shots at him. Every time he gets lit up, Danny's there in that higher up position, able to rain shots down on him.
Yeah, but still the cap pressure is on. There is at the moment only one tank on it, and the other guy will just probably chip in last moments to boost it up. They have the elevated position. Someone will actually eventually have to go and either blind through the cap and hit it, which is really hard, or go spot for Raven. And there we go. A double cap is coming on now.
35 seconds to go. Now the ball is in Savage Squad's court. What can he do to come in and get a reset here? Now Zet has potential angles on the cap circle. If he peeks, he can perhaps get vision.
It's going to be Luti spotting.
But Zet is going to get rushed here by Papa Pavin coming over the top of him. That is really nice play. Zet's going to have to back off. Gets taken out by Papa Pavin. Where's the return shots coming in now? It's only Raven can get shots into Papa Pavin. Looks like they're happy to trade that off because at the moment the cap circle's still going on. 20 seconds. Great shot there by Raven into Muka, but Biku is still the one with the main capture points at the moment. Biku is spotted as well. They have to shoot into Luti Pavlo because Luti Pavlo is coming to the spot. He's getting shot at by Muka and Biku here. They're now going to back off because they've just drawn out Savage Squad into line of fire and they can reset this one back and stay in control mode.
Good play by Utopia so far, but Steroids is in a bit of a pickle there, losing some HP, rather same, I would say, HP here, but now Utopia is in brilliant position to do the crossfire, to take out all of the fast tanks of Savage Squad. There is only Alpha and Latencer left. Danny and Raven are STRVs, they're not gonna win the game.
Ow, that one was going to hurt for Freedom there. Shots coming in from every single angle there. It's like the straws in the middle of a Kerplunk game. Now, Biku's going to move up into this middle area because they know they have pretty much a little bit of flexibility here, a little bit of strength. Raven's still sitting up on the back lines up there. I mean, at any moment now, if they wanted, Muka and his fellow Batjack can go in there and pressure the cap again to draw Savage Squad out once again back into the lines. And
Muka is enough. They don't need anyone else on a cap anymore. You just put one guy on a cap and everyone else just covers the crossfire. That's what they need to do. Stepanek, you watch the other side of the battlefield and let your team cover that side. That's what you need to do.
Danny peeking there in his STRV and getting shot at because he raises the front of his tank when he comes up over the hill. Now, Alpha looking to try and get angles here up onto the top of the lighthouse area. He does see Stepanek there. He might get actually shots into him. This is not going to be good for Stepanek. That's not in the lighthouse, sorry. That's on the 1-2 line. Stepanek, well, actually you're going to go down here, mate. Well, no, Alpha needs to land his shots. Come on, mate. He doesn't have the gun. He doesn't have the elevation.
It's top of his elevation. He can, but it's top of his elevation.
Papa Pavin, in the meantime, picks up a triple kill as he drops Lute. Alpha coming around the bottom here. His Medipack's on cooldown, his repairs are on cooldown. He has one more shot into him, but he's on well, he has one shot left to be able to take and he's on a reload as well. So it's looking like Utopia are going to be taking this one 5-3 right now.
It does look like that, especially look at this. Bihu, the old dog, is still on 100% of HP. So probably their best budget player is on 100% HP in a finish of a sprint race.
Alpha doing the climb up here beside the ramp at the top base. He's lit straight away. Can Papa Powan make this 4? As Danny is going to come slowly around the corner as well. Papa Powan causing so much damage with Danny, getting a nice connection there, and Papa Powan actually tracked him right at the edge. Can he get one final peek there at the end? Powan is tracked. Nice shot there again by Danny into the rear end of Papa Powan. He's not going to really know that that one connected, but leaves him on 71 HP. Now Biku has taken a shot. It's second shot actually, and he's got engine damage there as well as he's trying to push into Latenza. Utopia have to be careful not to throw this one, Mojo.
15 seconds and the cap is still not spotted. There we go. There is a reset coming in now. Latencer is dead, so there is no another flank here for Savage Squad. Bihu has a free reign. He can just go behind them. Papapavian fell because of that careless play on the top of the hill, but they still have a lot of potential here. There is Raven left on 100% on his STRV, but the important player Alpha is on one shot, and once he falls, this game is over. Now Alpha being proxy spotted, double cap is on. 20 seconds to go on. There is no one to spot it. Raven would have to go down from the hill himself and just walk into them.
Raven's going to have to blind fire here or rush down himself with only 10 seconds to go. Looks like he's not doing either of the two. Alpha, Shoku's just trying to hold off Alpha. He doesn't need to push anything like that. 3 seconds to go. Raven, all he can do is blind fire and he's not connecting with anything. 0 to go. Utopia win by cap, so they're taking the match 5-3. And once again, Utopia...
The game is not over. Raven actually came down and they had to abandon the cap a bit. But this is not the droids you were looking for. These are. Raven is actually pushing into them. He has some chance to take care of Muka, maybe even Steroids if he really misses his shots. But to take care of 4 Bachats in this kind of game, no, it's not going to happen. There are 2 minutes left and honestly, they can do whatever they want. They just need to find... not in the waves. Not in the waves, boys.
Come on, guys. Think about this one carefully. You need to get...
No, Bihu is the only one who needs to do the work here.
Yeah.
And there we go. There is only water left for you, Raven.
Nothing else to go there. And Utopia win 5-3. I was desperately terrified there because all I could hear was no, no, no in my headphones. And I wasn't watching the secondary screen, so I was like, wait a minute, it was 5-3. What have I said wrong? But no, it just was delayed an extra second there because Raven did get a last second reset right on the final second before it ticked over.
Well, I guess we were all off by 1 game, but I really expected Savage Squad.
Well, we were all off, but how did Daki's prediction go? Daki's
Also,
was...
it was 5-3.
miles away, to be honest.